Hey guys, so I want to do a quick little speed test and camera test comparison between the Nexus 5X on the left and the Galaxy S6 2015's flagship from Samsung, so we can see basically how they compare here, and we're just going to start them both up at the same time. And I really can't say which one I think will win this, given that it is like a battle of stock versus TouchWiz, but I think the hardware is certainly in the S6's favour. And we're all up to date with the apps, etc., so there should be no excuses. And a little bit longer here on the old Nexus X, 5X that is. But nevertheless, we can just, I think we're on Android 5.1.1 as well, just want to double check that. Yes. So obviously Marshmallow versus Lollipop here. I'm just going to close down everything and open up some apps. So 1.1, 2.1 to the Nexus, 3.1, oh 3.2, 3.3, about the clock. It's about the same. Camera, about the same again. About the physical camera, so 3.2.1. Whoa, that wasn't, that didn't work, did it? I thought it did. Let's try that again. 3.2.1. So I think the S6 was a bit quicker there, but you know, it's quite fast nevertheless in terms of the camera. We can have a look at YouTube. Sometimes I've noticed in Marshmallow the app opens up in horizontal, which I think is a bug that someone in Google might want to look at. Also Dialer, same. And I think we do have as well the Play Store. So S6 then as well. I think the S6 probably caught up now pretty much. We can have a look at the maps as well. I haven't had a look at that for a while, so we can check it out to see if there's any lags. So I'm just going to zoom out here and zoom back in. So both of them seem to be quite smooth. Maybe the Nexus though is a little bit smoother if you ask me. A bit juddery on the S6. Let's search for something. London. So about the same here. Not too much difference at all, which is good. And I think we have some games as well. Gonna have to be GTA again. So let's go. 5x coming ahead here, which is very nice. So we'll give that to the 5x and also Lara Croft. No messing around with the S6 for this. I'm going to give that to the S6. So quite mixed if you ask me in terms of the app opening, you know. I don't really see too much of a common strata here. I think the Nexus did quite well considering the modest hardware. And you can do some web browsing here. So you can see how they are. Bit of page reloading with the Nexus there when you scroll fast. Don't get that on the S6 though. And if we can click on a link, we will try and see how they load here. So I think a little bit fast on the right. And just click onto a link. So V10 sales not doing very well. Probably because they haven't really made it available. At least where I am. Tech Radar. So the Nexus coming back here. Phone Arena. And again the Nexus that little bit quicker if you ask me. Just only a tad ahead. One more. We do have GameSpot. Go. So this time the S6 came back there. And again. So kind of mixed really with the browsing as well. Not a huge difference really, which is a bit boring. I was expecting there to be, you know, one side dominating the other, but clearly TouchWiz definitely gets the job done, except for the multitasking. But as I've actually seen on another video, the Nexus 5X probably isn't that good here as well. You can see a reload there on both of them. So they both reload, but the S6 does actually recover faster, except for that one. Viper always roots for the loser. So you can see the S6 is clearly that bit faster here, but definitely both of them need work, I think, to improve the multitasking. Slightly faster on the S6 I think for the camera. And YouTube about the same. About the game, in fact the map. So reload on both of them, but the S6 does a little bit quicker. GTA. Similar story here, both reloaded. And finally, Lara. So I think the S6 is slightly stronger here, but you know, it's bad across the board if you ask me for the multitasking. Not particularly strong really. So in regards to the cameras, I did do a comparison between 12 megapixel camera on the LG, which is I think Sony sensor, versus the one which is critically acclaimed in the S6, 16 megapixel optically image stabilized. And in general, you know, I think both the cameras are quite good here when it comes to the low light. Maybe the colour's a little bit more realistic though on the Nexus. However, you know, I think that the S6 did quite well for saying that the pixels aren't quite as big as the ones in the Nexus 5X and 6P. I don't think there's a remarkable kind of difference here between these two, so those of you who are looking at the camera aspect may want to look at other aspects. There is a massive difference though when it comes to the camera app. The S6 gives you a lot more kind of functionality and modes and things that you can put on, whereas the camera app on the Nexus and Motorola phones is quite stale really. So I think they definitely need to improve that. But in terms of the video recording, you can have a look at that as well. Both support 4K obviously. So as you can see here, you know, from this comparison, the day-to-day kind of performance is quite comparable between them really. The S6 is a bit stronger still when it comes to the app opening though than the Snapdragon 808 in the Nexus 5X, and because it's a bit older in terms of the age of the device, you can probably grab one of these for about the same kind of price as the Nexus 5X. I'd probably say that the battery is the only real shortcoming of the S6, which you know, is not that good really. But then again, you know, I think the Nexus 5X probably isn't too far away in terms of the longevity. So I will probably look into that a little bit further. But on face value, I think that the S6 is giving you a little bit more here for your money. You have to bear in mind it's pushing a quad HD display, getting 32 gigs internal storage, which is very nice, and quite a lot of other things as well. Your fingerprint sensor, you're not missing out there. It all depends obviously on how fast Samsung gets Marshmallow on the device, you know. Maybe you'll be waiting quite a while, but yeah. Just a quick little comparison here between these two. Hope you found it helpful, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.